Yeah, I thought we were a pretty balanced team on Saturday night. We played pretty well in all three phases, which was great. Obviously, some things to clean up. We have to, take care of the football a little bit better offensively still, and penalties everywhere. So we on all three phases, so we have to clean the games up a little bit. But all in all, it was a pretty good night, and we came out of it with no new injuries, so that's good to know. And getting some guys back here as we move forward. So that's good. So, any questions? Don't get excited. No, that's just what he's trying to be, a good soldier and be a part of the team, and he's yellow, and wears his pads. That's what he's told, and that's what we do here. So I think it's next week. Yeah. So then there'll be a second one after that. So all right.
For Eddie Casper to be available? Eddie Casper.
He is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is available. Yeah.
How do you think he will help?
Well, depends how good a condition he is. He practiced all last week. We didn't play him, but he wasn't officially cleared till Sunday. But he was allowed to practice, so he's had a week of practice before this. So this will be 2 weeks of practice. So you like to think he's a pretty veteran guy. But he did lose some weight. And his frame can't afford that. But it is what it is, and he's eating as much as he can, and he feels good and looks good, and so it should help us. Another experienced guy that can catch the football. So we'll see. Hopefully that'll help.
First time you're facing Tim Polisak, the new head coach.
He's been there a long time.
I know.
Other time.
What has he brought?
Nothing. I won't say nothing. It's all the same. I mean, it's same offense, same defense. That's right. Try to brought him back.
A lot of stability there.
Correct. And that's a good thing, because they've been very good, as you know. And he is not. You don't notice a whole lot of different things. Tim was a offensive coach there for a long time, and he knows the recipe, and they're very good offensively. So I didn't mean he was smart. There's really not a whole lot new. I'm sure there's some things within the program that we don't see, but on tape it looks the same style of play, same philosophy. Very good team, and balanced and solid in all three phases. Really good, not more than solid, really good in all three phases. So yeah.
You guys have won 3 in a row, and during that 3-game winning streak, I would say progressively performance has improved each and every week of those 3. Are you starting to notice a little bit more confidence in the room?
I would like to think so. We played pretty well Saturday night. I wouldn't say we played great, but we played pretty well, and in all three phases. But that was the first time I thought all year that we had done that in all three phases, and that's always good to do. The good news is there's still high ceilings in all three phases that we can get better. A lot of room for improvement. So that's the good news. I think what you're seeing, though, John, is that they are. What our players are we're putting the same lineup out there for this 3rd week in a row. This will be the 3rd week. So you would expect that there would be some improvement. And when you're unstable and you're moving guys in and out, as you know, being a baseball coach, it just some days you have to do that, and you're just not quite in sync. And it's a timing game, especially offensively. It's really a timing game, and when the timing's off, it can look really bad offensively sometimes. So having the same group out there of guys has been the same menu, I guess, if you will. We can start seeing some improvement, and that's what happened, I think, this last weekend. But that's a really good question, good observation, because that's absolutely true. Being a coach, I expect that from you, and because it is it's hard. We always talked about that back in my assistant days. I remember Coach Tiller being honest about you can't be switching guys in and out on special teams because you get really mad at a guy. Let's can him for a week and sit him on the bench. That's not going to get him better. Give him a couple weeks to get better, and if it doesn't get better, then move on. And then, in order to have really good special teams, you have to have the same group of guys out there. And I don't think that's any different for anybody, really. To be honest with you, particularly offensively, because the timing of the game is so different. But good question. And now this will be the third week that we have basically the same lineup, so which would be good.
And Tommy's confidence is maybe at an all-time high. He's making the passes, and he's obviously got the legs too.
Yeah, he's doing really well, and the quarterback position's pretty well served, I guess you would. And we got three good players there, and Tommy was lights out, particularly early in the game. Had another long run second half, and he brings a little different style to the table, and he's played well. We just gotta protect him, and he's when you run like that, you're gonna get hit, and you gotta pick and choose your spots, and you gotta be careful with all that stuff because it's a long season. But I would say now you're kind of in a playoff mode every week. It's just kind of the way it is in the Missouri Valley. So you have to be on top of your game. And good news for him, he threw the ball really well Saturday night, and really doing threw the ball deep ball well, which is good, and he's getting consistent with that. So that's a good thing.
Pretty formidable front line defensively for North Dakota State, but they've had trouble against the run this year so far. Have you seen anything on tape? You got to be able to tell why.
Not really. They've had a couple X plays, which is common for early in the season for a defense. Beat a defensive coach. I can tell you that. The tackling has sometimes for us. I know that's been our issue is when when we're not as good. Early, it's because of tackling. Tackling, we as coaches now, all of us are in this conundrum of how much do you play live tackle football in preseason, and how much don't you, and we kind of go back and forth and cross your fingers, when you're doing those things. So sometimes teams, I'm not saying this is their issue, but that could be part of it. But I really don't see a whole lot. I think they play really, really hard. I think they ran to those backs at Townsend were pretty good players, and so I think you got to give the opponent. And then they played against the Colorado team. It's very skilled, as you know, and you got to give your opponent some credit. They, even East Tennessee State had some athletes too. So you got to give the opponent. They have some guys that can make you miss, and it just seems like everybody has those kind of guys now. Offenses are just, the days of just dominating people on defense is just hard to do. It's just there's just so many weapons. It's like having 4 and 5 hole hitters throughout your whole lineup. They hit the ball, and they have ways of striking. Every offense we see has guys like that, and if they have a good night, you could be in for a long. It could be a tough day. So I think that's probably what's changed more than defense. It's the opponents they played had some pretty good special skill guys that were pretty athletic. So.
Ready to go coach 100%?
Yeah, he looks like he's pretty good. He's it's his second or third week now practicing. Yeah, he missed a lot of practice, so he's still again we're not gonna play with the lineup a whole lot unless there's some issues. But Ron played played some on Saturday night, which is great, and hopefully he can do some more of that. And I think he's working his way back into. He's one of those kids that has to play to get back into playing shape. Number 1, 2 is get some reps. Some full speed reps, and it depends on what kind of game we have, and depends on how the players in front of him are playing. So, but he's better. Yes.
Is Elijah going to be able to help a little bit on defense?
We think so. It just matters. What'll happen as we keep moving forward. He had a good practice this morning. So he's learning. And he's not. I mean, it's a it's a tough thing to do right now at this time of year. But I think he's taken some things off of some of our guys on defense, which is going to be very helpful. And because he's down at that end of the field now, we can put him on the offensive scout team, and he can help us with that as well and make that team really good, and then go back and play defense. So he's really involved in practice. He's not. There's not a lot of standing around for him, and and he puts him in better condition than he probably would be even as a backup offensive lineman. He's running around a lot and getting in good shape. So hopefully, if he's needed, I think he'll be formidable.
He's a redshirt junior. He could have another year if he wants to.
I think he's a senior. Yeah, I believe he's a senior. I don't know about that, Mike. I can't remember, but I think he's one of those kids that's on the fence. But I don't think he has another one, but he might. But don't quote me on that. Any other questions?
Coach, everybody knows about Sopkowitz, but obviously the addition of Xavier has, and with Dan being back healthy, that's.
I wouldn't call him that quite
Healthier.
yet, but healthier. Yeah, I think
But he
that's.
seems to be moving
He's managing it well, and we are managing it better and better, and he seems to be getting old Dan back. But having Xavier really helps us, and now with. We have Jalen Carr is a good little player, and fortunately we lost Lord, but now we get Eddie back. That's gonna help us a little bit more, So yeah, we're
What's
glad.
that do though to the defenses now? You can't maybe necessarily just focus.
Well, yeah, I mean, as a defensive coach, there's a lot of things you could do. You can tilt the coverage to a special guy, play, really bang him on the line of scrimmage and play someone over the top of him. You can do a lot of bracket him, but now you do that. Now you got another threat, and it's like the guys who play this weekend. They have multiple receivers that are big. They have big guys, and they have some smaller, faster guys, and so they're hard to do that too. You're going to have to play really balanced, and you can't really. They're going to make you play football everywhere. And not cheat your coverage and be able to spin your coverage to a really good player. So hopefully that helps us there.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, see you guys.